Hello. Today we will be discussing Hannon's Early Intervention Program, which was developed to work with children with language delays between the ages of 0 to 5. This program consists of 6 to 8 training sessions in a small, personalized parent group, and each session is led by a Hannon certified speech therapist, and this is a family centered program. And so, first, the parents are encouraged to identify the type of communicators. The first thing parents are encouraged to do is to identify how their child communicates to help them become better communicators. It is always important to remind parents that whenever people send messages, even without words, they are communicating. And so, young children, young babies, they don't specifically use words, but they may communicate through uh, the noises they make. If they're fuzzy, if they're crying, they're through their body movements. And as they begin to develop, as they begin to grow, then they can tell you what they're thinking. Um, in different ways through gestures, signs, or words. And it takes two to talk. These communication stages are divided into four different stages, and these are the discoverers stage, communicators stage, first word users, and combiners. Discoverers react to how they feel and to what is happening around them, but do not have a specific message in mind. Their messages don't carry intent. And so these children are barely beginning to discover the world around them, to learn their surroundings and their environments, and they're just discovering the world. And these are the children that communicate by fuzzing, crying, or through body movements. They may string sounds together, such as ba ba ba, and these sorts of sounds. Communicators send specific messages without using words, but their sounds, their communication, their utterances, they do carry a purpose and a message. Um, and in this stage, the child begins making the connection that he what he does has an effect on others around him, and so he's starting to realize that he can make things happen. Um, he realizes that when he holds his arms up, you pick him up. If he cries or he makes a sound, you look at him.
The next stage is the first word user stage. These children use single words and they can imitate words such as people or objects. So, for example, ball, mama, dada, or they may use word approximations such as nana for banana or teep for sleep. The next and final stage is the combiner stage. These children usually have a vocabulary of 50 words or more, and by this time they're ready to start combining words into sentences of 2 to 3 words to get their message across. Um, they may combine words such as mommy, up, or want teddy, or more juice to indicate uh, that they want more juice. Um, Parents may have to look for clues to identify or to figure out what their message, what the baby's message is. Parents may have to look for clues to figure out what their child means. The first encouraged strategy discussed through Hannon for communication development is getting face to face with the child. So parents should position themselves eyesight level with their children when speaking to them to allow them to hear and better understand the message. The strategy is effective for children across all stages. it is very important for parents of discoverers and communicators to tune in and respond to those nonverbal cues and communication in instantly or almost immediately to let the child know that he is being understood and he is getting his message across. This strategy is effective for children across all stages. It is important for parents of discoverers and communicators to tune in and respond to nonverbal cues that the child makes. Another strategy discussed is the acronym OWL, which stands for Observe, Wait, and Listen. So when you observe, you want to focus on what your child is interested in. And when you wait, you want to stop talking, lean forward, and look at your child expectantly. And when you listen, you want to pay close attention to your child's sounds and words. When you owl, you create opportunities for your child to communicate. This strategy is effective for children across all stages of communication, and a parent can use visual reminders or count to 5 to remind themselves to allow the child or give the child enough time to formulate a response. An example of visuals can be a clock or a stop sign. Those two pictures would be great visuals. A third strategy discussed through Hanen is creating opportunities for your child to lead by creating communicative temptations to help your child make a request. This can be done so by offering your child a choice and just observing and waiting and listening to the child's response. If they're not using words, are they looking towards one choice opposed to the other? Once the child does take the lead, then go ahead and follow the lead in whatever it may be. Engaging in play and allowing your child to lead in play is a great way to allow them to use their expressive skills. Again, just following the child's lead and playing like the child, which isn't always easy for parents to do. Parents will need to adapt the roles that they play, especially parents that are used to playing the director role, need to avoid taking over the interaction. And so it's always important to remind parents to take the focus off getting the child to talk and focus on following the child's lead, to use fun sounds, fun words, and pretend to truly be interested in what's going on. Other strategies discussed in Hanen are to imitate the child's facial expressions, sounds, or words that the child may produce to encourage the child to interact. You want to comment to build on the interaction. You want to interpret the child's message, and you want to match your turn to your child's turn. You want to match the length of the child's turn, match the child's pace, and match the child's interest. To encourage children to stay in the interaction longer and to provide as many opportunities for language learning as possible. It is also important to remember to cue your child to take a turn. This may be done through facial expressions, a visual helper, or a pausing routine. Again, using OWL, observing, waiting, listening, or counting to 5, and just asking questions to keep the conversation going. So asking open-ended questions, yes and no questions, don't really provide your child with the opportunity to use his expressive skills. So asking questions that be WH questions, and the first questions that they begin to understand are what questions. So what is this? What is that? What color is that? Those sorts of questions are all appropriate to keep the interaction going. Additionally, you can spark an interaction by using the acronym SPARK to facilitate language learning through daily routines. SPARK stands for starting the same way, planning the child's turn, adjusting routines so the child can take his turn and respond, repeat same action, sounds, and words, and keeping the end the same to the routine. So, for example, if you're giving your child a bath, you want to start the same. You want to use the same words, same vocabulary. So you want to make sure to use the same toys and that you use them in the same way and that you describe them and use the same words over and over again. Eventually, your child will learn the routine and the language that you are using to describe the actions and what is going on. And when you speak to your child, remember to use the 4 S's. Encourage through Hanen, which stand for say less, keep it short and simple, use stress, simple stress to stress important words, important sounds to keep your child's attention, and remember to go slow. Don't speak too fast when you're speaking to your child, and show what you're describing, what you're speaking about. If you're talking about the sailboat or the turtle or the rubber duck, make sure to point at it and use gestures. Again, parents can turn everyday situations into communication building opportunities. For example, playing outdoors, there's great vocabulary which can be used and the child can be exposed to. It can be acted out, such as mommy jump, or mommy hop, mommy run, mommy walk, mommy sit. All of these are great opportunities, great ways to show your child and expose them to new language. You can work on simple word combinations which can be practiced in everyday situations. These strategies were all derived from It Takes Two to Talk and are encouraged when working with children with a language disorder between the ages of 0 and 5. I hope that you found this video helpful, and I highly recommend taking a look at It Takes Two to Talk.